Okay, so this is our next video in our continuation of our AWS Cloud Practitioner exam practice question. So this is next practice test and having 65 questions. So let's try to attempt all the question, and at the end of the video we will able to see what all are the wrong and what is the correct answer. So let's start. An engineering team is new to the AWS cloud and would like to launch a dev test environment with low monthly pricing, which AWS service can address this use case. So engineering team is new; they are very new to the AWS cloud, and they would like to launch some test environments with low monthly pricing. Okay, so Amazon EC2 is a wrong answer because they said they want to with low monthly pricing and they are new, so maybe they don't know how to run the EC2. Light Sail, we know is a a different lightweight website. You can say a subset of AWS, in which we can the person who is very new to the AWS can quickly go to the light cell and just within a few clicks can set up the environments. So that looks the correct answer. CloudFormation is a template to deploy the resources. So ECS is a Elastic Container Service. So looks light cell is the correct answer. Which of the following billing time frame is applied when running a window EC2? So when we run the EC2, we have to pay per second. Which of the following are the advantage of using the AWS cloud? And we need to select the two. Trade operational expense. So no, we are not trading the operational expense. Increase speed and agility. Yes, speed and agility increases. Stop guessing about capacity. Definitely correct, because we don't need to think about the capacity. It automatically get increased. Limited scaling, wrong, because even the scaling is more. AWS is responsible for security in the cloud. No, AWS is responsible for security of the cloud. So this too looks correct. A corporation would like to have a central user portal. So they have a central user portal to log into the third-party business application as well as an account managed under AWS organization. As a cloud practitioner, which AWS service would you use for this task? So a corporation would like to have a central user portal to log into the third-party business application. So they have a central user portal to log into the third-party business application as well as accounts managed under AWS organization. So CLI is the wrong answer. IAM is the wrong. SSO is the single sign-on. So that looks the correct answer. AWS Cognito is also to use to store the user, but generally for the mobile application. So that doesn't look correct. So SSO looks correct. A company would like to reserve EC2 compute capacity for 3 years to reduce cost. The company also plans to increase their workload during this period. As a cloud practitioner, which EC2 reserved instance? So, sorry. So they are reserving already, but the company also plan to increase the workload during this period. So they want to increase the workload. So which of the four option will they will choose? Convertible reserve instance, standard, scheduled, adaptable. So it will be the convertible, because for 3 years at few times they want to increase the workload. So the reserved instances should be convertible. A company would like to audit request made to an S3 bucket. As a cloud practitioner, which S3 feature would you recommend addressing this use case? So they would like to audit the request made to an S3 bucket. So how they can check? So by the access log. A research lab needs to be notified in case of a configuration changes for security and compliance reason, which AWS service can assist with the task. So a research lab needs to be notified in case of a configuration changes. So AWS config. Which AWS service can be used to send, store, receive message between software components to decouple. So how to decouple the application using the SQS? Which of the following services are provided by the Amazon Route 53? So Route 53, the domain registration, we need to select two. Domain registration is correct. Load balancing, no. Transfer acceleration, no. That is the S3 transfer. IP routing, no. Though there is some connection between like some one DNS to the another DNS, but there is no IP routing. Health check and monitoring. So health check monitoring, yes, correct. A company would like to move 50 petabytes of data from its own premises data center to the AWS, and in the most cost effective way. As a cloud practitioner, which of the following solution would you choose? So storage gateway is wrong. Storage gateway is like basically to use the storage uh, to extend your on premise storage to the cloud, but not to the move. So here is a 50 petabytes, so very huge data. So we have to use the snow services. So whether it's a snowball, snow mobile, snowball edge. So all these services have some different like use case. In one of the services, like some terabytes of data only. In some one of the service, there is a petabytes of data. So snowball or edge, snow mobile is the correct answer because it's a 50 petabytes of data. So snow mobile could be the correct answer. A production company with predictable usage would like to reduce the cost of an Amazon EC2 instance by using reserved instances. So if they want to reserve the instances, so there are two options. They can reserve the instances for 3 years and 1 year. Which of the following are the best practice when using AWS organization? Disable CloudTrail, no. Create accounts per department. Do not use AWS, wrong. Never use tags for billing. Restrict accounts using you restrict account privilege using SCP, that is correct, and create accounts per department, correct. Which of the following statement is an AWS best practice when architecting for the cloud? So which of the best practices? Security comes last. Close coupling, wrong. It should be servers, not services. Automation. So automation is the correct answer. Which of the following option is not a feature of the Amazon Inspector? Which is not a feature. So inspect running operating system, non vulnerabilities, correct. Track configuration, analyze against unintended network accessibility, automate security assessment is correct. Track configuration changes is the AWS config. Analyze again. So this looks wrong. Which of the following statement is the most accurate when describing AWS Elastic Beanstalk? So Elastic Beanstalk is a platform as a service which is useful to deploy the web application. So this looks correct. Which AWS tool service will help you define your cloud infrastructure using programming language? So cloud formation wrong, Beanstalk wrong, code build wrong, so CDK, Cloud Development Kit. Which of the following AWS support plan is most cost effective when getting enhanced technical support? Enhanced technical support means you can raise a ticket, you can do the chat, you can do the call. So it's come under the business as well as the enterprise. So the basic one is the business. A company would like to optimize Amazon EC2 cost. Which of the following action can help with this task? So they want to optimize the EC2 cost. So what we need to select two. Purchase EC2 reserved instances looks correct. Vertically scale, no. Build the own service, totally wrong. Opt for the higher, no. Set up auto scaling group to align the number of instances, correct. So that like if the demand decreases, so the instances get stopped. Which AWS tool can provide best practice recommendation for performance, service limit, and cost optimization? So trusted advisor. A startup would like to quickly deploy a popular technology on AWS. As a cloud practitioner, which AWS tool would you use for the task? So they want to quickly deploy. So we can go with the quick start references. A production company would like to establish an AWS managed VPN service between its own premises network and the AWS, which item needs to set up on the company side. So on the customer side, it is the customer gateway. On the company side, no, no. So between its own premises network and the AWS. So on the AWS side, it is the like the virtual private gateway, and on the customer side, or you can say the company side, it is the customer gateway. A company is planning to implement uh, chaos engineering to expose any blind support that can disrupt the resiliency of the application. Which AWS service will help implement the requirement with the least effort? A company is planning to implement chaos engineering type of engineering to expose any blind support. So inspector not trusted, so they can do the fault injection so that they can like figure it out. Is there any fault in our application or blind supports? A cloud practitioner would like to get operation insights of its resources to quickly identify any issue which might impact the application using those resources, which AWS service can help with the task. So a cloud practitioner would like to get operational insight of resources. So how to get the operation insight of resources to quickly identify any issue using the system manager. Adding more CPU is an example of a vertical scaling. An e-commerce company would like to build a chatbot for its customer using natural language understanding as a cloud practitioner. Which AWS service would you use? So Lex is used for the natural language, like Lex use the natural language understanding. Which of the following IAM security tool allow you to review permission? So to review the permission is Access Advisor, IAM Access Advisor. And company needs to use a secure online data transfer tool or service that can automate the ongoing transfer from an on-premise system to the AWS while providing support for incremental data backup. Which tool is an optimal? So they want to transfer the data from on-premises to the AWS. So storage gateway is wrong. Snow cone, Snow mobile, data sync. Data sync looks the correct answer. Because it is the online data transfer. Snow mobile is the offline. Which of the following options are the benefits of using AWS Elastic Load Balancer? So load balancing will help in the, we need to select two. So fault tolerance, definitely clear. So like one application, one instance will not get the more load. Agility wrong, less costly wrong, high availability. Which service tool will you use to create an application? Will you to create and provide trusted user with temporary security credentials? So temporary security credential is AWS STS. A developer would like to automate operation on his own premise environment using Chef and Puppet. So it's the ops work. A startup would like to monitor its cost on the AWS cloud and would like to choose an optimal saving plan. As a cloud prediction, which AWS service you would use? So they want to choose an optimal saving plan and they want to monitor the cost of the AWS cloud. So AWS Cost Explorer. Which security control tool can be used to deny the traffic? So to deny the traffic via the network ACL, security groups only have the allow. So network ACL also have the deny. Which type of monitoring can be provided by the Amazon CloudWatch? So what type of monitoring? Performance and the availability of AWS services, resource utilization, how much resource is being used, API access looks wrong, application performance, account management is wrong. So last option is wrong. API access looks also wrong. So only three options left, first, second, and fourth. So which type of monitoring? Resource utilization. CloudWatch. So I think the first and the fourth. Let's see at the end of the video. An engineering team would like to cost effectively run hundred and thousand of batch computing workload on AWS as a cloud which AWS can be used for the task AWS batch. According to the well architect framework, which of the following action is recommended? The security pillar. So security pillar. Use AWS KMS to encrypt data, correct. Explorer, no. CloudWatch, no. CloudFormation, because it is security pillar. A company would like to create a private, high bandwidth network connection between its on-premise data center and AWS cloud. As a cloud practitioner, which of the following option would you recommend? So on-premises data center and the AWS cloud. So direct connect is the only correct answer. Which AWS serverless service would you use to prepare the data? So to prepare the data is the AWS Glue ETL pipeline. Which of the following criteria are used to charge for the EBS volumes? So how the EBS volumes are being charged? So based upon the storage type and the provision IOS and volume type. A multinational company has just moved its infrastructure to AWS cloud and has employed traveling to the different offices around the world. How should the company set the AWS accounts? So there is nothing to do because the IAM is a global service. A cloud practitioner would like to deploy identical resources across all the regions. I think this is a repeated question. So if you want to deploy the identical resources, we can use a cloud formation. According to the shared responsibility model, which of the following is both the responsibility of AWS and the customer? So operating system configuration, because the guest operating system configuration managed by the customer, and the one provided by the AWS will manage. So configuration management, data security wrong, disposal of the customer data wrong. So these two looks correct. Which Amazon EC2 auto scaling feature can help with the fault tolerance? So auto scaling and with the help of fault tolerance. So distribute load to the EC2 instance, lower cost by adjusting the number of either the amount of computing capacity, replacing unhealthy EC2 instances. So replacing unhealthy EC2 instances. A company would like to define a set of rules to manage object cost effectively between storage classes. So the life cycle management is the correct answer, because if we want to move the data from one storage class to the another storage class, so based upon the time we can do the life cycle management. An organization would like to copy data across different availability zone using EBS snapshot. Where are EBS snapshots stored? So on the S3. A data science team would like to build machine learning models for its project. So we can use the SageMaker. A brand new startup would like to remove its needs to manage the underlying infrastructure and focus on the development and management of its application. What type of cloud computing? So a brand new startup would like to remove its needs to manage an underlying infrastructure and focus on development. So they don't want to manage the infrastructure. So IaaS is wrong, on-premise is wrong. So platform as a service. Which AWS service can inspect cloud front distribution running on an HTTP web server? So AWS WF. A company using a hybrid cloud would like to store secondary backup copies on the on-premise data. Which AWS storage class would you use for the cost optimal yet rapid access? So they want to store the backup, so it should be the one zone, but the rapid access. So rapid access is one zone, infrequent access. Which AWS service can be used to subscribe to an RSS feed? So RSS feed come under the service and dashboard. According to the well architect framework, which of the following statements are recommendation in the operational excellence pillar? So operation excellence pillar is uh, anticipate the failure, automate recovery from failure, enable traceability, use serverless architecture, make frequent and small reversible changes. These two looks correct. Which AWS services allow you to quickly and easily add user sign up to web and mobile applications? So it's a Amazon Cognito. Which AWS service can be used to view the most comprehensive billing? So most comprehensive billing with the detail for the past month. So billing detail most comprehensive is the cost and the usage reports for the cost explorer. Maybe the cost and the usage report. A company would like to move its infrastructure to the AWS cloud. Which of the following should be included in the total cost of ownership? So advertising is wrong. Electronic equipment is also wrong. Number of end user, how many user are like using, so the network traffic will depend upon that. So power cooling is wrong. Server administration, like how many uh, administration means like how many EBS volumes you are using, network, all those things. According to the shared responsibility model, which of the following are the responsibility of AWS? So installing secure data center security, correct. Network operability, correct. A company would like to separate cost for AWS service by the department for cost allocation. Which of the following is the simplest way? Simplest way is to create a tax. A company needs to keep sensitive data in the own data center due to compliance, but still use the AWS. So it's the hybrid cloud. Which of the following AWS service can be used to generate, use, and manage encryption keys on the AWS cloud? So they want to generate, use, and manage encryption keys. So cloud HCM. Which of the following statement is correct regarding VPC? A VPC spans all region. No, VPC span all availability zones within a region. So this looks correct. What are the following statement is incorrect? EBS volume can be bound to several availability zones. EBS volume can be mounted to one instance. EBS volumes can be mounted to a specific availability zone. EBS volume can persist data after their termination. So can persist data after the termination. That looks correct. EBS volume are bound to the specific availability zone. EBS volume can be mounted to one instance at a time. That is correct. So second and fourth are correct. EBS volume can be bound to the several availability zones. A and EBS volumes are bound to a specific availability zone. So volumes are bound to the specific availability zone. So not with the several. A media company wants to enable customized content suggestion for the user for its movie streaming platform. Which AWS service can be personalized recommendations? So Amazon personalize. An Amazon-based Sydney host its application. A company based in Sydney host its application was EC2 instance in Asia Pacific Southeast 2. They would like to deploy the same EC2 instance in EU South 1. Which of the following AWS entity address this use case? So if they want to deploy the same application, same EC2 instances, so EBS snapshots and the region is different. Load balancer row lambda is wrong, either the EBS snapshot or AMI. Because to deploy the EC2, we need either the so EBS snapshot still not required because it is not mandatory to attach the EBS snapshot. So AMI looks correct. According to the shared responsibility model, which of the following is the responsibility of the customer? So customer responsibility: protecting hardware, firewall, managing DynamoDB, firewall and network configuration. So firewall in EC2. Firewall and network configuration. No, managing DynamoDB. Managing DynamoDB, no. Firewall and network configure this security and firewall. So by attaching the security groups. The development team at a company manage 300 microservices and is now trying to automate the code to review to improve the code quality. So code guru. IT infrastructure at a university is deployed on AWS cloud and it's experiencing a read intensive workload. As a cloud practitioner which AWS service, they are experiencing a read intensive workload. So we can use the cache. A growing startup has a trouble identifying and protecting sensitive data at scale. So they are troubling to identify. So we can use the MAC key. So we have two questions wrong. So let's review incorrect question. So which type of monitoring can be provided by the Amazon CloudWatch? So application performance and resource utilization. So Amazon CloudWatch is a monitoring service for AWS cloud resources, and the application you run on AWS, you can use Amazon CloudWatch to collect and track metrics. Okay, and monitor the log files. Okay. A company would like to move its infrastructure to the AWS cloud, which of the following should be included in the total cost of ownership. So server administration and the power and the cooling. Power cooling, why power cooling? AWS pricing calculator lets you explore AWS service and create an estimate for the cost of your cases of AWS. You can model your solution before building them. Explore. Okay. This enables you to make informed decision about using AWS. You can plan your AWS cost, usage or price out, setting up a new instance, AWS pricing calculator. So power cooling are included in the server, storage, and network cost. Okay. Okay. So these two questions doesn't look even important and they are confusing. Anyhow, that's the end of the video. Thank you.